In this video, we are going to explain briefly how to work with the RD6442 series controller keypad. This is how it looks like when the first time the machine turns on. The arrow keys are for jogging the head on top right and top button, right and left direction. There is a file button here. When you press the file button, you can see the list of all files stored in the controller memory. In this screen there are some other options as well, which you may use it if you need. While you're seeing the file menu, if you select a particular file, if you press the right arrow key, you will be transferred to this area, which will be highlighted, like because a read memory file, U-disk, and other stuffs. Here you can, by U-disk, selecting U-disk, you can read the file through a flash memory, which you can connect it to the proper place on the right side of the machine where it's mentioned U-disk. And other useful option here is to give you some sort of a working time estimate. When you select that, it will calculate the estimation for the whole processing time for this particular file. Here is mentioned 41 seconds for this selected file. And also you can delete that particular file by selecting delete and press enter. You can also copy the same file to the flash memory from the controller's memory. Once you select a file, you can press enter, and you can see a full preview. There is a possibility to change the power setting and speed setting, which is already done in the software in the keypad. So for that, what you can do, you can just press enter. After selecting the file, you can press enter. Then the layers are getting highlighted. If you want to move to another layer, you can use arrow keys. And once you select the particular layer, you can press enter, and you can move to different fields by pressing ZU button here. And by pressing left and right, you can move to different digits on each number and change the value by up and down arrow keys. Once you're done with the setting, you can press enter, and it will tell you setup success, and you press enter again. The default status is when it's showing the file name on top, it doesn't show the preview. It shows a preview only after you press file and select the file by enter button again. So the other parameters you can see on the display is, as you can see, is the file name on top. Then there is a speed, 300 millimeter per second. This speed is nothing to do with the processing speed. This is a jogging speed for head jogging. And another value is maximum power, which is a 98%. That is the maximum laser power which is used in the machine. Then there are some other values here on the lower part of the screen. These are related to the laser tube, kilovoltage, and milliamp. These are real-time values, and it will change once the processing starts, and you can see what kind of voltage and current is being applied to the laser tube. There are some other options here, and which is appearing in another screen. Once you are in the main screen, when you press Z button, you can see the other options on the file menu. When the Z move is highlighted, you can move the table in the machines which is equipped with the motorized table. So by pressing left and right button, once the Z move is highlighted here, again by pressing left and right button, you can move the table up and down. And for the machines equipped with the autofocus prop, you can move to autofocus, highlight autofocus, and press enter. Once you press enter, the table starts moving up. The material surface touches the touch prop on the autofocus prop and then readjusts itself to the focal distance. All right, so other options which you may use it in day-to-day basis is a manual set. That is the jogging mode setting, the laser head jogging mode setting. So once you press enter, you can see the mode which can be changed to continue or manual. If it's in continue, the jogging is continuous. That means as long as you press the arrow keys, the laser head moves, and once you release it, it stops. But when it's on manual mode, it just moves in stepwise with the same value as you can see in the manual field, in this field. In this case, you have a 60 millimeter step. If you set it on manual, every time you press arrow keys, the laser head moves 60 millimeter and stops. And again, in here, if you want to move to different field, you can use the Z button key, and you can move to different digits by left and right arrow and change the value by up and down arrow keys. Another setting here is a laser set. That is a laser pulse setting for testing for alignment. And once you press enter on this option, you can see again manual and continue. That is the same way as the jog setting. When it's on the manual, it releases the laser beam for a particular time, which is set here in this field. In this case, we have a 40 millisecond, and we set in the manual, which suggests you to keep it in the same mode. If you change the manual to continue, as long as you press the pulse button, the laser beam keep releasing, and when you release a button, it will stop. So the other settings here are not really used on day-to-day basis. There is an Ipconfig that is for communication with the machine by either Wi-Fi or Ethernet. Once you press enter, you can see the IP address, which is by default in 192.168.1.100. And in case you need to change that, you can change this address here. Otherwise, it's better to keep it the same address. So you press escape, you can go to the previous screen. Diagnosis, screen origin, access reset, laser power. These are all the options which you don't really use in day-to-day basis. One thing you need to know is this machine is made to control 2 laser tube for dual head machines. And for a standard single head, the power and the current or speed is just only for the tube number 1. So suppose here, if you see, you can see power 1, power 2. Power 2 is for the second laser tube, which is not existing in the single head laser tube. So you're just concerning about the power 1, which is mentioned here. There is other options, other buttons here, origin and frame. So the origin is starting position for each file. If you want to start anywhere on the working area, the way which it works, you move your laser head to wherever you want to start the graphic, and then press origin. Then it will save this point in the memory, and it will always start from this point, even if you turn off the machine and turn it on, and even if you reset the machine, it goes to the home position and goes back to the same origin position. The frame is to show you where the graphic is going to be located. So once you press frame, it will just move, the laser head moves around the rectangle area which the graphic is supposed to be processed. We already explained the file. The maximum power, this is for the maximum power setting for the machine. So we always keep it at 98%. Which is a maximum default value for these type of controllers. The minimum power is again the same minimum power sets for the machine. As you can see, is here minimum power 1, minimum power 2. We are just only concerning about the power 1 for single head machine. Speed is for changing the jogging speed. In this case, you have 300 millimeter per second. If you want to just reduce it, you can just reduce the value and press enter to save it. The pulse button, as we explained earlier, this is for releasing the laser beam for a particular time if you have it in manual mode. And this is basically used for testing purpose and also for laser beam alignment. And the last button is a reset. Once you press reset, the laser head moves to the home position, which is in the upright position, and then after resetting itself, it goes back to the origin, physical origin position, which we set it last time by this button. So when we press reset, it will take a couple of seconds, moves the laser head to the upright position, finds the home position, and then moves back to the origin position.